Good day everyone, and today I'm going to be looking at some history of manga. The history of manga is quite long, and it's much longer than you would think. If we go back long enough, we come to a scroll called the Genji Monogatari Emaki, also called the Tale of Genji scroll. It's a famous scroll that was illustrated in the 12th century. So yes, manga goes back that far. All the origins manga go back that far. The scroll is housed in 2 museums in Japan and divided. Some of the scroll's parts are very damaged. Now, originally it was over 450 foot long and had over 300 sheets of calligraphy, and it contained over 100 paintings. However, the scrolls now only contain 19 paintings, 65 sheets of text, and 9 pages of fragments. These are housed in the Tokugawa Art Museum in Nagoya and the Goto Museum in Tokyo. It's about 15% of the original scroll. Okay, so why am I talking about a scroll that could be compared to the Bayeux Tapestry? When we look at illustration in a novel format, in a storytelling format, the Tale of Genji is perhaps the world's first novel, so it's only fitting that it got the world's first manga, in my opinion. The Tale of Genji is a fascinating piece of Japanese history and literature. The Tale of Genji was written in the 11th century. Tale of Genji was written by Murasaki Shikibu. The Tale of Genji, or Genji Monogatari, was written by a member of the Fujiwara family. The story tells the story of Hikaru Genji, or Shining Genji, who is the son of an ancient Japanese emperor known as the Emperor Kiritsubu, and a low-ranking concubine called Kiritsubu Consort. For various reasons, Genji is thrown away by his father and is forced to become a soldier. During this time, he is treated no better than a commoner. In fact, his father demoted him to that rank. And the scroll and the story concentrates on romance and the customs of aristocratic society at the time. It's, again, sometimes known as the world's first novel. The work is written in Old Japanese and has had various translations into English. But we're not talking about the novel, but we're talking about why it was transformed into the Genji Monogatari Emaki. You have to understand that at points in time of history, the Fujiwara clan were extremely influential in courts in Japan, and is supposedly the work of Fujiwara no Takashi, a well-known court painter of the 12th century. However, some people don't believe this anymore, and they believe the illustrator might be an unknown person and it was just equated to a member of the Fujiwara family because they were so influential and powerful at that point of time. The characteristic pictures are known as Tokusuri and Yamatoi. The style is hardly ever used by male protagonists and male painters, but it's always mostly used by female painters. So that might be a big clue on who created the scroll and the artwork. When we look at the surviving parts of the scroll, we see uses of greens, purples, blacks and whites that are common in some manga today, especially the black and white tones of characters. In the panel that I have up now, we see some courtiers and we see some screens blocking the privacy of them, with some screen doors. We even see paintings on the screen doors. This artwork, this manga, is extremely detailed and intricate in its design. Again, I can only really compare it with the Bayeux Tapestry, which is a different medium. In the various chapters, there are landscapes, there are peoples, there are animals, and if we only have such a limited amount, imagine how much more detailed and glorious and fantastic the actual work was. When it comes to artwork and manga, the scenes, the emotions, the style really has evolved, and you can really see the origins of Japanese manga and anime in the figures themselves, maybe in early works, and you can see the evolution right down from the very early animes such as Devilman or Akira, or even before then to maybe the newspaper drawings they had at a later point of time. You can definitely see the evolution of art in these works. The technique used is called Fukiniki Yakatai and Hikami Kakibana, or Fukiyaka Yaka, blown off roof, refers to a composition of a bird's eye view of the interior of a building. So if you've seen those weird pixel drawings that sometimes have like a cutout of a room, that's the kind of style that's what that means. The techniques are very focused on emotion, and that's why I've decided to do this as a very early, or the history of mangas, going back to what I can find might be the very origins of the art and the style. So the emotions, the faces, the expressions are extremely detailed, and we see in a scene here, we see people mourning over a death. Their heads are bowed, they're in deep contemplation, they're really sad, and even though the scroll and the piece is damaged, we can still make out the feelings of sadness and despair. The people are deeply mourning for the loss of Lady Murasaki. The calligraphy, on the other hand, even has detailed work on the background. You can make out what seems to be clouds in the very early calligraphic foretext. So you get the foretext and then you get the background with clouds, maybe petals, maybe even some animals and some squares. This must have been a labour of love for whoever created it, and it's very easy to see that. These paintings, these calligraphy, is considered one of the national treasures of Japan. And although it might be something that might never be lent out, we can still enjoy what limited images there are out there without going to those museums. We can still see the origins of the manga and anime industry as we know today. The tale of Genji is an interesting one. It's very hard to read in a modern sense, I believe, and translations in English are a very hit miss. So there are plenty of anime though that have adapted the tale of Genji. So if you're really interested, maybe I will look at one of those and I will discuss what's changed and what's not. But next time we're going to look at some later paintings and later artworks that can carry this theme of black and white on, and maybe up to present day. This is the first in a series, so thank you if you decided to watch this video. It is a fascinating subject, and a lot of people might talk about anime here, manga there, but no one I've seen around really goes this far back to what might be considered the world's very first manga, or even the very first comic. So thank you all for your time. If we don't count cave paintings, of course. So thank you very much for your time. Do take care of yourselves. I've been Trix, and you've been all of you. Bye bye.